Irish, how are you? Wow, it's an ugly hot here today. Super bad air quality. I read in the mainstream media that Denver has the worst air quality in the entire world. That's not the only thing Denver's the worst at. But we're gonna go in here and get some records. This is an interesting story, but they close at 4, so we gotta hurry. There's nobody here. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Yes, there is. Hopefully Terry is here. So there was an interesting situation last Friday. Hi there. Is Terry here? Okay, great. Oh wait, everybody's running to the back. What's going on? Everybody's running away. Hey everybody, Regan's here. Remember that warrant? You can come get her. She's out front here. Hey Terry, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
I've got a records request.
Okay.
Last Friday, in the Walmart parking lot, and I do not have a case number, and I'm not sure.
You said you do?
I do not.
What was last Friday?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out here. I'm trying to find this video. So I can give you a time.
Okay, give me time. What you got?
I'm sorry. I know you close at 4. I'll hurry.
Okay.
I just had to hurry in here. I had just realized what time it was.
Yeah, our rush came about this time too, not too long ago. I think everybody just getting off from work.
Everybody getting off of work. I know, I wish you guys were open till like
5
4:30.
o'clock.
Oh, are you closing at 4:30 or 5? Or, I'm sorry?
4. We're here 8 to 4.
You know the website says 5, right?
For Englewood Police Department, or is it the city?
It,
I think the city is the 5.
well, it says that for the police department on the city's webpage. Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna have to change that.
yeah, because I think that's a little misleading.
That is misleading.
Oh, shoot. Doggone it. Hang on, I'm getting there.
Afternoon time, morning time.
It was afternoon.
Okay.
Probably between 2 and 4. There were 3 officers involved. It involved giving 3 young black men a trespass warning for King Soopers in the Walmart parking lot for selling candy.
And you just want that report,
I want that report.
or is it?
And there was a female officer that actually issued the trespass notices, so I'm assuming she's the one that wrote the report, but I do think there were 4 officers there. So I don't know who wrote the actual report.
Let me see if they have to be, if they're a trespass.
Yep. And they were forced to identify and fingerprint.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, let me go check it out for you, and I'll let you know.
Thanks, Terry. I appreciate it. Jeez, I thought I had the video handy here to refer back to, but I swear I have made so many videos in the past week. So yeah, the things that the Englewood Police Department is up to. Let me explain to you. Give me one moment. was the 19th of July. Hold on, give me 1 second here. Yeah, I have some pretty disturbing video. There it is. Terry, that was at about 1:30. Yeah. And let me tell you, the cops split in a hurry. So let's just move over here off to the side so I can explain this to you. Here's some video.
Are they? Tell us about it.
So I come up, I'm driving through the Walmart parking lot.
Are they being good to you? Are they being good to you? Are they? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so there you go. So there's the scene. So let me tell you what went down. And I'm not going to post that. That's about all I'm going to show because I'm not exactly positive that some of those young men were not minors. It wasn't public, of course, so yes, I know I have every right to record and publish in public. But Rain Nation, how you doing? Aurora, you in the house? Yeah, so long story short, these 3 young black men were standing in this Walmart parking lot, and I just happened to be driving through, and I saw all the gaggle of cops, and I thought, this is weird. They're not being detained. They're moving around. They're not in handcuffs. What's going on? Why so many cops for 3 young men? So of course I pulled over and I started recording. And the minute I started recording, cops started really hanging their heads. Well, after about 10 minutes, one of the female officers that was there on that call emerged from her vehicle and handed all of them trespass notices. And then the cops split in a hurry after they took their pictures with their cell phones. And when I first started recording, those young men looked over at me and put a thumbs up, and they were smiling. I thought, okay, it's not a horrible, horrible situation yet. And I said to them, are they being good to you? And one of them hollered over and said, yeah, they're being great, they're fantastic, or whatever the word was he used. I thought, well, okay, well, maybe they called, maybe they needed help, I don't know. So we hang out, I record them, cops split. But I noticed these 3 young men each are carrying these giant, like, commercial boxes of candy, of giant-sized candy. You guys, it's really hot out there. And so they start talking to me, and come to find out, they thought the cops were being real nice to them by forcing them to ID and fingerprint and take their pictures for no crime. However, right before that interaction, just down the street, King Soopers, Kroger, I think Kroger should go away. I'm done with Kroger. I've been done with King Soopers for a very long time. And this King Soopers in Englewood, on Broadway off of Floyd, is absolutely horrible. It is a nightmare. The customer service is pure shit. Their store is gross. I don't even know why the place is still open, and they treat people exceptionally poor. And it really doesn't matter who you are. They don't care. And if you're from Colorado and you've heard about the last contract union negotiation for the grocery store workers, one of their deals was they weren't going to come back to work until there was armed security in their stores. Well, as you all know, only the best seek out a job to be armed security guards. So you've got armed security guards in King Soopers that think they are super important and have a little bit of authority and power over people. And these 3 young men were selling candy to raise money for youth sports. Now, since this happened, I've been doing some investigating, and I'm doing my own digging on this because I don't quite know exactly where yet. I'm going to address this issue of how the Englewood Police Department interacted and responded to these men. Regardless of what they were doing, they were not charged with a crime. So they had been at King Soopers earlier. And I know this to be fact because one of them texted me the video that they have of their security guard up at King Soopers confronting them out in the parking lot, accusing them of stealing the candy, telling them to get the fuck off the property, and then pulling out her mace and threatening to mace them. And these 3 young men were exceptionally polite, exceptionally well put together, and a very good representation of themselves and their age and everything that they said they were out there doing, okay? Now, in this video at King Soopers, these kids are trying to stand their ground on how they're being treated. I didn't think they were inappropriate. I heard one of them say the word fuck once and say, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Other than that, they were calling out the security guard for being racist, for pulling out her pepper spray. And I will tell you, once she threatened them with the pepper spray, they did leave. However, they told the security guard that they were going to call the cops. And the security guard and all their real cute staff from King Soopers ganging up on these 3 young men made it clear that they had already called the cops. I don't know who called the cops. I don't know, and I'm not going to request that record because I'm not paying for it, because Englewood isn't real honest about records, and I'll tell you why on another story that we've talked about. I mean, we already know that, but I've got more proof.
All right, Regan, I found it.
You found it, yay, okay. I'll get this paid for. It's $5 for all of it. Are you gonna give me all of it? Okay, thank you.
How are you doing today?
Doing all right, but it's ugly out there. It's hot, and the air quality and the wind.
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear about that air. I'll write the case number down for you.
Okay.
I didn't hear about that air quality. It's bad.
And there's a whole bunch of people without power. Like 12,000 Excel customers. Yeah. Rolling blackouts. Okay. Okay. So, we think Terry's great, and she is. She's very helpful. She does her job quite well. So, I saw this video. I saw those kids leave. Now, had they been up to no good at the King Soopers, they certainly would not have headed over to Walmart, okay? But they did, because they were selling candy as a fundraiser. And then the cops made contact with them at the Englewood Walmart parking lot, not the King Soopers. And then ultimately, the kids told me that until I came up and started recording, the cops were telling them to get out of Englewood and to not be selling their candy in Englewood. Isn't that interesting? And how would we find out for sure what was said? Well, body cam. And how does retrieving body cam footage work here at the Englewood PD? It doesn't, unless you're going to pay thousands of dollars for redacted body cam footage. So we won't be getting any body cam footage of the event. The young men felt not compelled to record their interactions with the
I'm
police.
providing you with just a report. There are trespass notices, but I'm pretty sure these fellas have the trespass notice. Is that something that you wanted just as well?
Not right now, but if I did,
Yeah. Come back.
okay.
That's fine.
Is there any indication? I see some redaction already on date of births.
The date of birth.
Okay, but my question, Terry, I noticed that you redact date of births all the time,
Yeah.
which,
Date of birth and like driver's license, social security, any identification information, kind of to protect the person.
I get that. So my question is though, is there any indication that these are minors?
No, they're not.
None of them are minors.
No, they're not. So if somebody comes in and really want to keep something on the report, that person themselves can come in and say, we don't want that. And then
You know, other agencies, I think you're the only agency that redacts date of births.
we just threw them in our policy,
Yeah,
like a protection, like a fraud.
yeah. You know, Sheridan, they gave out my social security number. Yeah, I get all kinds of emails. I had to get fraud protection. Somebody was making,
That's the reason, what I know, that's the reason why we do it here, to kind of protect individuals from fraud. So.
I appreciate
something
that.
You have to pretty much request and say, I don't want this taken off the report. If I'm giving it to you, say it's a report and say you want us to keep it on, then we'll pretty much keep it on.
Nah, yeah, I'm fine with that, just as long as I know their ages.
Yeah, the ages are there.
Okay. So it turns out none of them are minors. They're all at least 18. I'm gonna read this report.
Taken care of, so we can get out of here.
Sorry, I kept
Get you
you.
out of the sun.
Well, I'm gonna sit right here. I'm gonna sit right here. Thank you.
You want me to clip it or staple it for you?
You don't even need to do any of that.
Alright.
All good. Terry, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Have a good night, okay?
You too. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's take a look at this. This table. Why would they put a table in here? With no rubber legs, huh? Why? Oh, because they're so special in here. They have all the high-end furniture. Okay, so here we have all their names. Oh, Sgt Jessen was on this call. Okay, so. On July 19th at 13:10 hours, I, Officer Stellar, was dispatched to a trespass at 101 Englewood Parkway. Dispatch advised there was a group of teenagers outside King Soopers. Dispatch advised, you know, their dispatch, that the subjects were getting into the security officer's face. Dispatch advised that the subjects had been asked to leave and that they were refusing. Dispatch advised that the three subjects began walking northbound around the store and then westbound. So that means they left. So what was the reason for contact? That's it. Your first paragraph, you got no call. Upon contact, I spoke with the reporting party, Heather Jardine at King Soopers. Yeah, I saw this little twit in the video. So they're gone by the time the cops get to King Soopers. Jardine explained that there were 3 black males, 2 wearing white shirts, 1 wearing a red shirt, all wearing black shorts and shoe slides. I asked Jardine what had happened. She explained that her security officer had observed the 3 subjects selling candy in the front of their store. The security officer had confronted the subjects and they became verbally aggressive with her. The security officer told the subjects that they needed to leave and were not permitted to sell candy on the property. Okay, this isn't an issue to me about anybody having to defend private property. It's private property. They're gonna have to leave. I get all that. But it's really interesting to me, the subjects that don't have to leave private property, especially at Walmart and King Soopers, all throughout the cities, okay, here in the metro area. It's really interesting. The security officer had confronted the subjects. He became verbally aggressive with her. The officer told the subjects they needed to leave and were not permitted to sell candy on the property. The subjects then began accusing the security officer of racially profiling. I asked Jardine how she wanted me to proceed with enforcement. Yeah, you know, because we're gonna make sure that there's a crime because I'm here now, so let's make sure that there's a crime. Instead of telling King Soopers, okay, there's no crime, we're leaving. You asked them to leave, they left. They're not here. Whatever went down, was anybody hurt? Was there any violence? And if King Soopers would have said no, bye, we're on our way. We're off to go catch violent criminals now here in Englewood PD. But no, that's not how it went down. Jardine informed me that because they had been verbally told to leave multiple times with no cooperation, she wanted them criminally cited for trespassing. I located the 3 subjects at Englewood Parkway, South Alati. All 3 subjects denied having been asked multiple times to leave. They claimed that security officer became verbally aggressive with them and then pulled out her OC spray and began shaking it, but did not spray it. So they were honest. I saw the video. The 3 subjects stated that this was their first time selling candy at King Soopers. Next paragraph. I requested all 3 subjects provide their names and date of births. Why? And they complied. They provided the following: name, 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 name. Dispatch was able to locate so-and-so, had a non-extraditable warrant out of Florida. Let's see, how old are these kids? $19, 18. I don't know how old this one is. Why don't I have one for him? Oh, okay, 18, 18, and 19. Okay, that's how old they are. Dispatch was not able to locate positive ID for the other two. Interesting. I asked both subjects if they had any ID. They declined, but stated that they had all served juvenile detention time in Florida the previous year. All three subjects advised that they did not have any school identification, social media with their identities, or legal identification. I used the fingerprint system, MORPHOMOBILE, through CBI, and it indicated no hits for either subject. I took photographs of the three subjects and took their prints in the MORPHOMOBILE. I issued all three of them trespass notices, valid 7/19/24 through 7/19/25, as I was unable to develop probable cause for trespass charges. There you go. That's the report. All right, well, that's what I wanted to know. So I had told them why. I asked them, why did you feel the need to comply? You weren't being investigated for a crime. They'd already left. So that's your day of profiling here in the Englewood PD. I saw the video from King Soopers. I saw what the security guard did. And I do hope the young man that communicated with me follows up with an attorney, because that was profiling. All right, out into this ugly weather. I asked them why they didn't record the police, because they said it doesn't work the same for them. And they thanked me immensely afterwards. Hi. And then they left. They're like, yeah, we don't want any more problems, we're leaving. For selling candy. All right, well, I guess even if they are, let's assume that they're up to no good, that they're just completely up to no good. It's not illegal to sell candy. We talk often about what your what your stick is to survive or make money or raise money or whatever it is, right? So even within the homeless community, right? You got something to sell? Okay, well, I don't want to buy any stolen merchandise from you. Okay, so we can have an honest conversation about that. But you want to sell me something you found in the dumpster that was somebody's trash? Yeah, let's talk. Because sometimes they find some really cool shit. You want to go panhandle on the corner and hold a sign, and somebody wants to give you their money? That's called a voluntary transaction. That goes on all the time. That's okay. It's okay that we have families with small children in this Walmart parking lot, and there's never a cop to be found anywhere to ID them. But you've got 3 young black men selling candy at King Soopers, and they're threatened to be pepper sprayed. And now all of a sudden you're private security for King Soopers, and you're running fingerprints because you had no crime to begin with? What do we call this, you guys? What do we call this? We call it Police State USA. Profiling is real and alive. And I have a feeling things would have been different had I not shown up with that camera. Again, I don't know why it happened the way it did, but it did. I just happened to be driving through there. So here's another thing about Englewood. And I didn't mention it at the city council meeting on Monday. Remember the 911 call with the little old man, Joe, that was on the sidewalk? Well, Rita Russell, remember Rita Russell, council member, did a council request for the phone call. And they gave it to council, but they wouldn't give it to me. And Englewood's got this nifty website where you can go in and look at all the correspondence, all the public correspondence, and council requests are one of them. So I listened to that call the other day after I discovered it was in council requests, after I was perusing the website, and lo and behold, there's this section of the call where I start to describe the elderly man, and it goes, and she just cuts over the top of me and continues to talk. That's because there was more information in that call. And I told you guys from the get-go why it's a problem that Englewood maintains their own dispatch records. This is why. Because they lie. And they're caught in a bunch of lies in that criminal case that they drummed up with me at the Control Freak Factory Library of the Englewood Civic Center, where the Control Freak librarians are pissed off at the cops because they didn't take care of me a couple years ago, and they don't like me with that camera catching their bad deeds on camera. So they got their go-to gal pal, that Sergeant Adam Wright, who got his ass chewed the other night at the city council meeting for being a dirty ass cop, because he is. They got that gal pal to drum up some charges on me, and it turns out that Joe Anderson, the city council person, went on the fraud channel and thanked the fraud leader for being the leader of the pack for abusing the 911 emergency dispatch system in the United States, in Englewood, Colorado, to try to get the cops to prosecute Regan Benson. I mean, it's funny how all this is coming together, isn't it? Now, why in the world would they botch a 911 call where I'm calling for help for an elderly man? Why would they do that? This place is bad news. And there is no oversight. None. I sent an email and said I'd filed a complaint. Well, I filed a complaint on the go-to gal here at the Englewood PD, who, in her interview with the librarians, is asking the librarians, I asked Sergio why Regan Benson has so much latitude in this city, and she needs to be given an exclusion from this library. So we're doing that. So I filed a complaint on the go-to gal who's got the badge and the gun to abuse her authority to do whatever she wants, unalive people if she should choose to. I mean, that's pretty easy to do here in Englewood as well. You can forget to put your body cam on and shoot somebody dead, and just, it was an accident. The DA will rule it an accident. These are true stories. I'm not making this up. This isn't an exaggeration. This is what is going on over here at Englewood. Their chief of police has since resigned. Don't know what's going to happen with that. I would think if city council were smart, they would put together some type of citizen oversight to, number one, be implemented into its charter in this city. So there is a level of oversight in this police department, because let's just assume they're doing everything right. Let's just assume this is the best police department in the whole wide world. Well, don't you want a group of citizens to go message that for you? Sure you do. But instead, we do the Citizens Academy, where we control the messaging, and we go out and recruit the citizens we want to come into our backdoor operations, and we're going to teach you how hard it is to be a cop, and we're going to show you all these things, and then you're going to go out into the community and message how wonderful we are, because we are controlling the messaging. This place is a mess. It is a holy shit show mess. And it's more dangerous than Denver in the sense that there is absolutely no eyes on this place. None. The people that have been devastated by the abuse of authority here, their lives are ruined. They're just trying to stay above water on a daily basis. Other people that know the corruption is going on here are turning the other cheek because there's some nice cops in here. Well, that's great. Well, why don't you do those nice cops a favor and get rid of all those bad cops, bootlickers? I mean, I'll meet you halfway. You're so sure that there's some nice, good cops in here. Do something for them then, because there's some really bad cops in here. I don't know. The stupidity of the general population is just kind of mind-blowing. Starla, are you in here? Hey, lady. Thanks for popping in. If you're still in here, good to see you. There you are. Nice to see you. Hey, Modern Retro. Welcome-o. Thank you for being in here. Bob Lau. My friend Bob, how are ya? It's propaganda. You know it is. DJ, I know. I get it. I get it. Dublubs, see? You're back in. Winnipeg, how are you? Sixth Estate. Good to see you. So, yeah, this has been bugging the hell out of me since last Friday. Again, that was 100% profiling, because they're not doing it to others at Walmart for selling candy. And I even watched these men try to show the cops that video. They didn't give a shit. They didn't want to watch it. They already had their minds made up what they were going to do to these guys. They were not going to stand up for themselves. I don't know. We're in weird times. Very, very weird times. I don't know. You got to do what you think is right. Walmart wasn't the problem in this case at all. Walmart wasn't the problem. King Soopers was the problem. Were the candy bars in legit packaging? Yeah. Well, they were in, yeah. And it was all like king-size candy. So, I don't know. Maybe they're running a scam. Well, so we're going to assume that it's part of a theft ring. And they went into Sam's Club and rolled on out of there with a, you know, a cart full of candy and then are turning around and selling it. I find it all a little weird that regardless of all of that, let's say they were totally scamming. Where are the police to do their investigation? They don't have probable cause. They admitted it, yet they continued to ID them. They left King Soopers. They responded to the call. I feel very strongly that if those kids were up to no good, they would not have tried to at least stand their ground against the security guard that was accusing them of stealing the candy and threatening to pepper spray them. And they said they were going to call the cops, and then they left anyway. After they asked the woman and all the staff at King Soopers why they weren't being professional. So, maybe I'll publish that video. I'll think about that. I often get accused of being racist and, you know, of some kind of white privilege, and it's just the furthest from the truth. So, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to message that or publish that video. I mean, those guys, and one of them communicated with me, look, you guys need to reach out to an attorney. That's pretty simple. So, I don't know. This may just be one of those one and dones, and I needed to understand in my mind from the police perspective why they did what they did. They should not have done what they did. They abused their authority and they profiled, period, in that case. So, Dub Woods, Englewood took me to jail with video. I was almost stabbed. Good reason not to call the Popo, which you didn't sit in jail? Yeah, thank you, Modern Retro. Cops arrest first, investigate later, like shoot first, ask questions later. Yeah, Englewood's done that too. Yes. Yeah, and so anyway, that 911 call that Englewood released didn't release it to me in the email that I requested it be released to me. Didn't even tell me they released the call. I didn't even know that the council request had been made. I just happened to be going through the website and saw it. So they release a call to city council. There's a questionable center part of that conversation that should lead to some other questions, but let's just assume that it doesn't. Let's assume this call that they released was totally legit. I ask for medical for the elderly man. They ask me if there's any weapons or threat involved. I say no. They ask me where he's at. I tell them. I let them know, which I don't hear in the firmness when I said, are you sending an ambulance? And they said yes. Don't hear that part. Let's just assume that the call is perfectly normal and that's their protocol. You call 911 and you ask for medical in Englewood. You instead get a cop who gets to determine whether or not medical gets called. We can all agree on that. That call is very clear. So we can all agree that it is Englewood's protocol that if you call 911 for help and you say you need an ambulance, they are going to send a cop to determine whether or not you need an ambulance. I shit you not. It's all fun and games until somebody dies. And that's their dispatch. They have deep-seated problems in their dispatch. Taking calls from foreigners, calling and abusing emergency service systems in the United States to get information from dispatchers about an individual, me. Isn't that interesting? And these stupid ass cops wonder why we don't like them, why they insist on pitting themselves against us and expecting us to get on our knees. You can go get beep, 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 beep. This. Anyway, that's today's live stream. It's super hot. I've got some water back here. I gotta... Yeah, I gotta go collect some signatures. So, I gotta get busy. And it's hot. Yeah, Dub-Ups, I'm not exactly following you, what happened with you in Englewood, but... No, it was DV. You got a DV assault for doing nothing off Dartmouth and Santa Fe. Yeah, good luck getting the body cam. Yeah, thanks, Starla. Let's worry about people selling candy instead of people selling fentanyl. Yeah, like the dude that tried to deal drugs to me right down the road there, King Supers, at the King Supers. I mean, look, I'm all about voluntary transactions. In all seriousness, the deadly amounts of fentanyl that are being dealt need to be dealt with. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So yeah, you know, candy. 3 black men. It makes sense to have 4 cop cars, 4 cops out there doing that. And yeah, that whole interaction was just how I felt it was. My gut told me I needed to just get over here and get that report just to verify it. At any rate, Hilltop, hey, doing well. Thanks for popping in. I'm about to end this. Baby mama tried to shank me and I went to jail. Yeah, those whole domestic violence cases, that's another whole damn... Ay. I know. I get it. I've seen it numerous times. And those are almost a no-win situation. Kings off of University, Dubwebs. No, this was the Kings off of Broadway and Floyd in Englewood, if that's what you were referencing. So, yeah, that was some bullshit. What went down? So, I just confirmed it. This place, it's bad news because nobody's watching. I don't know. I don't know why these citizens over here. I think it just has to do with the demographics and the age in Englewood and the shrinking middle class. People don't have time to fight government, right? They're trying to fight to put food on the table. Times are not good. So, and the cops are getting worse about making it worse on everyone. All right, you guys. Well, it's good to see you. I hope you're all well. Thanks for tuning in. And until the next one. Bye.